Day 54 of the Trump administration. Morale is low. I'm getting sicker. We're almost out of food. I may have to eat my horse for dinner eventually.
Help.
Let's say China.
Welcome back to the Unnamed Political Podcast. I am Clark Walburger.
I'm Jack Horvath.
And today, we gotta get this done, we are going to be talking to you about a variety of issues.
That's
starting
right.
off with the recent, actually serious, shocking resignation, or not so shocking once all the facts are presented, well, it's true.
Yeah, it's correct.
Of National Security Advisor, or now former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn.
Right. I mean, this guy must be the shortest cabinet official I've ever seen in my lifetime.
The shortest National Security Advisor since the post was established. 24 days in office.
Exactly. It was very short, memorable in some ways.
Memorable at the end. Not much else, unfortunately.
I liked Michael Flynn. And I still have an appreciation. He did some bad things, obviously, but he seemed like he really had his priorities in place in terms of his agenda and in terms of his. He was very certified in meanings that he was in the military and he was.
I mean, generally, clearly
exactly.
He did have experience.
He had the qualifications.
The qualifications, but that did not
stop him from doing some illegal activities.
Technically treasonous. However, let's explain to the viewers what they were. Has been in more or less. Actually, it's not has been more or less. It has been proven that Michael Flynn was in contact with Russian or individuals known to U.S. intelligence sources to be potential Russian assets. Was the language used, which, granted, in and of itself sounds extremely sketchy and far-fetched. Right. However, the FBI has confirmed this and backed this up. And Michael Flynn was saying he had discussed the potential of lifting Russian sanctions before the Trump administration came into being, which is very illegal. So
very illegal.
Mike is out, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't. He's probably not going to be indicted for any charges.
No, the FBI said they will not be seeking charges.
Which is interesting. Could it be the administration taking part into that, or could it be?
I think it's a mix. I think one, you do kind of see some degree of hypocrisy on both sides.
Right.
Where you have people who are calling for the complete destruction of Hillary Clinton for her illegal actions.
There you go.
Are now saying Mike should get scot-free, and the exact opposite. You're seeing people who said that Hillary Clinton was the sweetest, most innocent grandma who ever tried to be president, and Michael Flynn is Satan incarnate.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You're right when it comes to that. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, he's out of the running, obviously. They replaced him with a lieutenant general. I forgot what his name is. I think it's McMaster. I might get that wrong. But
so they have replaced him with another military man. So Trump is keeping a very military-centric cabinet,
for sure.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that Trump, I think he is trying to some degree, make up for his remarks saying, I know more than the generals during the campaign, which I hope he doesn't, because that would mean we have pretty bad generals. Right. But, no offense, Donald. Again, please come on the show. But I think that the guy who they put in charge...
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, would you like to fill in the audience?
Yeah, so Michael Flynn has been the National Security Advisor, had been the National Security Advisor for around, you said it before, 24 days, which is the shortest, as you said again, since the post had been established, which I don't know how long that's been. I'm guessing post-World War II, maybe even earlier than that. But, so he's been removed due to some semi-treasonous activities that he had some interactions with Russian officials during the transition process and even after he got inaugurated, which is not allowed, to be honest. Yes. And so he has left, and no one has pressed charges on him, so to speak, and he has not been indicted for his actions. And I think that's expected from the Trump administration. Not that it's sinister, but that they just wouldn't want to prosecute their own guys because it makes them look even worse. To save their political image.
I think it's to a degree. So yeah, so he was engaged in talking about potentially lifting sanctions, which is a big no-no.
Excuse me. Depends who you are.
Well, very much so. I think that we are seeing a little bit of some hypocrisy in saying Democrats and liberals on the left saying this man is Satan incarnate, hang him. by a post. Whereas we're also seeing the same people who said that Hillary Clinton doing similar or accused of doing similar things should have also been completely destroyed, are now saying that Mike is completely fine. But Mike is out, and now Herbert is in. So we have Lieutenant General McMaster is going to be, he has not been appointed yet officially, I think.
No,
but
I
he's
don't
the
think so.
incoming National Security Advisor.
He is. He's the incoming National Security Advisor, and he'll be in probably in the next couple weeks, I would assume, max. Probably even sooner than that, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
But,
I think Trump needs somebody to take the helm quickly.
Immediately, and more so than ever, because we are in a big need of better foreign policy, especially after the Obama administration. So to have someone to advise Trump that is an expert in the military field makes a general and appropriate pick rather than someone from Congress or someone that served locally.
So I think that's...
We need someone that knows outside of the U.S. borders.
I think so. I think we... obviously he had a general before. He's going to keep having a general there.
Right.
I think that McMaster's a smart choice. He's been in the Army since 1984. And he served in, I think, Persian Gulf War, Afghanistan War, and Iraq War.
Right.
So it's clearly a man with experience, and especially in specifically the Middle East, a region that I think the Obama administration, when you look at Syria, really did drop the ball on. And I think Trump, he can't afford to. Michael Flynn was already a very unfortunate incident, and he needs to kind of get up from that and just continue to start trying to push for a much better agenda. And I think... I don't agree with Trump on everything, but I think that this was a pick in the right direction. Or move in the right direction?
I'll move in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I think that
can use phrases
having
correctly.
someone that served in those areas, to go back to my point again, is that to have someone who served in the areas of the Middle East, which is the hotbeds of violence and of other terrible things today, makes it appropriate to pick someone like McMaster to serve as the post. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yes. So hopefully he will be serving for a little bit longer than his predecessor.
Hopefully longer than 24 days.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So not a high bar, but hopefully one he can pass.
For sure.
All right. Moving on to other news of rather significant importance in the international world. Kim Jong-nam, half-brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, unfortunately met his demise in a Malaysian airport earlier this past week, although when you're watching this, it's probably a little bit further in the past.
Yeah, it's probably even be more than that. But to go
Yes, we
back on
have to
your
space
point,
them out, the episodes.
yeah, we do, and which is fine. But anyway, back to the main point. So Kim Jong-nam, who was the likely heir apparent after Kim Jong-il died, but he was not before he
Yes.
died. But failed because he got caught in Disneyland doing something stupid, and
Yes,
he got exiled.
I mean this in a completely non-stereotypical way. He brought great shame onto the Kim family name by attempting to sneak into Tokyo Disneyland, according to his own claim, using a false passport and
It's kind of
things.
funny.
Yeah. So we tried to sneak into Disneyland, and that's why we got Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
We
basically.
learn something new every day.
Because Kim Jong-un was not the oldest person in the family. It was Kim Jong-nam.
No, he was not going to. He was not going to be the guy. He was not getting groomed for the position at the time. But now he was, but then he was, and now he is in charge. And unfortunately, Kim Jong-nam is no more. And the details of assassination, which are believed to be an assassination, although there is currently no 100% admission of guilt, as the North Koreans seem the likely culprits.
For sure.
Especially due to the fact that 4 of the suspects who the Malaysian government has been looking for are currently believed to be living in Pyongyang at the moment, or having gone back to Pyongyang. However, there has been no confirmation from the DPRK as to this. However, would you like to explain the method that was used to take out this formerly esteemed gentleman?
It was rather interesting. Like you said, he was in the airport. Obviously, when he was assassinated, he was walking, and these girls came up to him and said, "Hey, you want to be a part of this prank show?"
And
they poisoned him.
splashed water on him, and it turned out that
It was poison. It's toxic.
pretty much, yeah.
So
that is
he died.
current belief.
And it makes sense to be the North Koreans, because North Koreans, Kim Jong-un specifically, has killed family members of his in the past.
He's killed his uncle.
In relatively gruesome manners. And to continue off that, Kim Jong-nam, although he's not outspoken, he has been a critic of the North Korean regime after he was exiled. And
He did state that he
2003.
felt the regime needed China-style reforms, and granted was not by any ways, at least as far as the public is aware, in a position to usurp Kim Jong-un. But I think that Kim Jong-un, I need to specify between them, in kind of his somewhat, let's be honest, deranged mind, will take anybody as a threat, and felt the need to take them out. Just to ensure their own personal security.
Right.
And so I think that is. Also, I think that just kind of the bizarre method of death is something somewhat characteristic of the Hermit Kingdom and their methods.
Do you think that maybe they killed him because, I know this is out there, but like, that Kim Jong-nam would be plotting something?
I doubt it. I just think, one, he doesn't have the publicity for it. North Korean people don't worship him. They worship his brother at this point. And I mean, not to speak ill of the deceased, but he doesn't exactly have, it might just be very unfortunate photo ops.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've seen pictures. Yeah, I
dignified presence. But it's very unfortunate, and I guess all we can truly say is our thoughts and prayers are with not necessarily his entire family, but
some of his family,
select members, as well as the Malaysian government in trying to figure out what happened. This has caused tensions between Malaysia and North Korea, which is unfortunate, as Malaysia is one of North Korea's few, not allies, but somebody who they are at least able to function with. I've heard friends thrown around, so they don't have a ton, and it's narrowing.
Yeah.
So how do you think the Donald is going to be treating North Korea during his the next 4 years?
He's definitely going to have a more hardline stance than Obama did, for sure, but the actual interaction between America and Kim Jong-un and North Korea has always been, we've had sanctions. We've had, we haven't really had an embargo necessarily. We've had pretty hard sanctions. Now, we wouldn't need an embargo because we don't really trade with them anyway. But unless there's like a military provocation or something that North Korea does to provoke international involvement, I don't think it's going to be much different in the Obama administration, because we've already done the max we can do in terms of other non-violent means.
Yeah, very much.
So I guess we'll have to see what happens, I suppose.
I think the main concern is that it's what will China do if the U.S. does something to North Korea, because China, not a fan. They're very mad at the North Koreans after testing having another missile test. But they also know that the North Korean regime needs to be propped up, because if it collapses, China's going to have a ton of refugees that they aren't prepared to take currently, nor do they want to take, who would be fleeing across because they want to avoid the evil, sinful capitalist empire that could destroy them all.
Right.
We're sorry. But I think it is. We're going to probably see a much more aggressive response to any provocation that we've seen in the past. We've seen shelling between North Korea and South Korea throughout the past years, but I do kind of fear slightly what happens if a U.S. soldier gets killed. Granted, Trump does have a cabinet who I think will try to cool the situation, but I think there's a tweet might go awry, and we could have a bit of a diplomatic spat in the near future between the U.S. and North Korea.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, like a soldier got killed or a plane got shot down. I would think that perhaps America would do airstrikes, because they have done that in the past in response to military provocations.
And I'm not saying that's a wrong response to do that. I'm just saying I think, knowing Trump, it could escalate further than what may or may not be necessary.
Right, so we also have to watch out for that, and we'll see what happens. I mean, the last 8 years that we had with Obama and North Korea had been relatively somewhat peaceful in terms of direct involvement, direct provocation, to an extent.
I would agree, but I do also think that we do need to see, I think Trump might be too harsh in some areas, but Obama was completely, unfortunately, yes, he was, unfortunately, he displayed a level of, to a degree, spinelessness in a lot of areas that I think are very unfortunate. However, one of the key areas that I've been very upset with President Obama's actions in, I don't think Trump's going to be too much more helpful in it, being that it is Crimea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a little awkward for Michael Flynn.
Yes, especially
the issue with Crimea.
Yes, and as allegations that Trump is, I guess do you want to use this as our final topic, Trump and Russia?
Perfect, yeah.
So it's kind of, there have been a huge number of mounting allegations that, are we good on time?
Yeah, we have a couple minutes. Let's just get this segment in.
Right. All right. Sorry, viewers, we're back to you. That was way too dramatic. But there are continuing allegations of connections between Trump and Russia, but they're all coming from, quote-unquote, the intelligence community. And I think, unfortunately, we're seeing sources like CNN and the New York Times, which I normally believe are very truthful sources, and then BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed's not reputable.
Have been propping up sources that have virtually no real evidence or substantiability of any kind, and are only giving these things a voice because it's anti-Trump, so it must be good.
Right. And the media, at least some parts of the media, have been manipulating and basing their articles off opinions rather than evidence, as you pointed out. And that will cause a larger amount of discredibility in the media.
I think that's the problem, because granted, you do obviously have, I'm sorry, but liberals, will always be buying the New York Times until the thing goes out of print, and that probably won't be happening until the sun expands and takes over the earth, or the world ends.
You got it. The world ends.
But so I do think that it's not necessarily going to. They're not going to alienate their audience, but I think they are going to completely alienate any potential viewers, and they're going to continue to further divide between both sides. Because I mean, I'm not saying the conservative media is innocent of this. We've also seen instances of fake news there, but I think the problem is we're now seeing the same kind of bitterness that the left is now using, that they have always accused the right of doing for the past 8 years. They're now, rather than trying to be the bigger person in the sense, they're just going right into doing the exact same things. Democrats are trying to be even more obstructionist than Republicans were during the Obama administrations.
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
They were most certainly, Republicans were most certainly obstructionists, but a lot of the times they didn't openly say, we hate the president is evil, we will do everything we can to stop the president.
More or less.
So, yeah, it's a divisive time.
It is. Very divisive. All right.
Anything else to add?
You hit it on the head perfectly, so
all right.
we're good.
Okay.
All right. Here we are. Goodbye we go, I guess. Or what do we do?
Off we go.
Off to a different land.
Yeah, this is an interesting ending.
Hey, it's better than...
Yeah, we're gonna... Alright. Hopefully, in the next episode, we will be trying to get a guest host. I know we've said that for, 12 episodes now?
A long time. Yeah.
Yes, but...
Ever since second Chairman Mao appearance. Actually, no, Celtic got strong interview when it came.
Oh, yeah, Celtic got strong. Our proudest moment.
Great. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, but hopefully we will be continuing to use this Trump administration as a springboard to continue to further us into podcast legendariness history.
Something like that.
Whatever.
All right.
All right, I'm Clark Walburger.
I'm Jack Horvath.
See you next time.
Adios.